For 35 years, one company has run British theme parks: Alton Towers, Thorpe Park, Chessington, Legoland Windsor. Merlin Entertainments owns all of them. Merlin Entertainments is British theme parks. On the 12th of January 2026, that ended. Universal officially broke ground in Bedford on a £4 to £6 billion theme park resort, the largest leisure development in Britain since the post-war era. And Merlin is not ready. Here are 5 reasons why Universal Studios UK just killed Merlin's 35-year theme park reign, and why that might be the best thing that has ever happened to British theme parks. In the 5th place, the Orlando precedent offers a rare moment of optimism for British theme parks. When Universal Studios opened in Orlando in 1990, Disney drew around 30 million visitors a year. By 2019, Disney and Universal together welcomed over 60 million, double the market, not just a split of existing crowds. That expansion was not theoretical, it was measured in ticket sales, hotel bookings, and a tourism surge that lifted the entire region. Now, with Universal's Bedford project breaking ground on the 12th of January 2026, under a special development order, the UK faces its own inflection point. The planned £4 to £6 billion budget for Bedford is 300 to 500 times the size of Merlin's stalled Project Horizon at Alton Towers, which was capped at just £12.5 million. History suggests that when a global operator invests at this scale, the effect is not zero-sum. Competition can grow the market, raising standards and drawing new visitors. Even as Merlin's dominance ends, the arrival of Universal may be the catalyst that finally delivers the world-class experiences British parks have long promised. In 4th place, Merlin's long-standing reliance on sale and leaseback deals and shrinking capital expenditure has become a structural handicap. In 2007, Merlin sold the freeholds of Alton Towers and Thorpe Park, entering decades-long leases that now total around £1.24 billion in liabilities. That decision delivered a short-term cash boost, but locked the company into escalating payments, draining operating cash flow each year. By 2025, these lease obligations directly limited Merlin's ability to fund fresh investment. The annual report shows capital expenditure dropping 12% year on year to £210 million, with a further £35 million of planned spending deferred. Merlin now operates its flagship parks as tenants, not owners, with major portions of cash flow earmarked for rent rather than new attractions. This entrenched financial drag leaves little room to manoeuvre, especially as Universal's Bedford project arrives backed by billions in new capital and none of these legacy constraints. In 3rd place, Project Horizon at Alton Towers stands as a visible marker of Merlin's current constraints. Planning approval for this new indoor ride was granted on 16 February 2023, with a budget set at £12.5 million and groundworks originally scheduled for spring that year. Yet, by 30 April 2026, the project site remains untouched. No construction hoardings, no contractor tenders, not even a commencement notice filed with the council. Site photographs from early 2026 show the area unchanged since 2022, despite repeated public commitments to deliver a flagship attraction. This is not a case of an over-ambitious mega project. The budget for Project Horizon is modest by industry standards, and yet even this investment has stalled for 3 years. The absence of progress on such a comparatively small addition signals more than a temporary hiccup. It reveals a company unable to execute on its own capital plans, raising questions about its ability to compete as new, well-funded entrants reshape the landscape. In 2nd place, Merlin's shrinking portfolio and high-leverage ownership model have left the company with fewer options and greater risk aversion. The February 2026 sale of the entire Legoland Discovery Centre's portfolio back to the Lego Group marked a decisive retreat from diversified, lower-cost attractions, an exit that strips Merlin of steady international revenue streams just as competitive pressure intensifies. This move follows the £4.8 billion privatisation in 2019, which loaded the company with debt and imposed strict covenants on discretionary spending. Under private equity control, the focus shifted from expansion to cost containment, a shift underscored by the abrupt departure of longtime CEO Nick Varney at the end of 2022. In the wake of that leadership change, Merlin cancelled the planned Legoland Belgium resort in 2023, signalling a new reluctance to pursue ambitious projects. Each of these decisions has narrowed Merlin's capacity to invest, locking the company into a defensive posture. As Universal's Bedford project advances with fresh capital and strategic freedom, Merlin's asset sales and leverage structure now serve as a brake, not a springboard for future growth. And finally, in first place, the headline numbers from Merlin's 2025 results leave little room for debate. Group revenue fell to £1.999 billion, a 1.6% drop from the previous year's £2.057 billion. Visitor numbers slipped even further, down 3.7% to 60.5 million. These are not isolated fluctuations, they mark the first simultaneous decline in both revenue and attendance in 5 years, signalling that Merlin's core business is losing momentum at the exact moment a new global competitor arrives. While underlying EBITDA edged up to £571 million, a modest 0.7% gain. The improvement was achieved through cost savings rather than growth. The annual report details a £48 million reduction in staff-related expenses and £22 million less spent on facilities and maintenance, measures that reflect a tightening grip on costs rather than renewed investment. Chief Executive Fiona Eastwood described 2025 as a resilient performance, and she credited a leaner cost base and disciplined capital deployment for the margin lift. Yet this language, echoed in her earnings commentary, underscores a defensive posture, operational resilience in the face of shrinking top-line performance. For a company that once defined the pace of British theme park investment, these results are a stark warning. Without renewed growth, cost discipline alone cannot fund the kind of capital projects now reshaping the sector. As Universal's Bedford resort moves forward with a multi-billion-pound commitment, Merlin's own filings confirm that dominance is no longer supported by the numbers. Across all 5 reasons, one fact stands out: real competition exposes complacency. Universal's entry forces a reckoning. For British theme parks, the next era depends on who rises to that challenge.